Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're now listening to Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and friends. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Our featured guest tonight is Miss Naomi Johnson. She is a talk show host with a very special message that's near and dear to her heart. Her son was killed by a Coach USA driver who was operating a New Jersey Transit bus. So she's going to talk to us tonight about that, as well as a little bit more about her story and what she's doing with the show. So please help me welcome to the show Miss Naomi Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
No problem. Paul is on the show, but we were having trouble. So the name of your talk show, let me see if I won. Is it Noneillah?
Is Noneillah.
None. Both of us were wrong. We both got it wrong.
Yeah, we both.
Noneillah Talk Show. Okay.
Yeah, like None, none, like nobody, none, and I-L, ill, sick, and the H.
Gotcha. Okay. Now you see, I went way deeper. I'm like, it looks like it's something. It's like an African name. It has this. Okay, I got you. I got you that one. Noneillah than that. Okay. You get that now, Paul?
I said none Eli, but that's what I was saying. I think I was a little closer, maybe.
You was a little bit closer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. And I was reading up on your show. My assistant was catching me up on the situations that happened. Before we get right into the questions, can you just give us a little bit feedback about what happened actually to your son?
Oh, boy. Painful. My son, he was on his way going to work, and he was at the stop, and he flagged the driver to stop. He was already at the public transportation. It's so hard for me to say the U.S. word. And he was at the public transportation stop with another gentleman. He flagged the driver down to stop because the driver had flew past. They need to stop. He saw my son. He didn't need to stop. So my son was on the sidewalk, on the curb, and what he did, the driver looked like he was slowing down, so my son had rushed up to the front door. He was still on the curb.
Right.
And the driver was speeding. He jumped the curb and killed my son. My son was at the front door knocking and ran over my son twice and dragged him.
Oh, my goodness. He was, of course, convicted of this, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again, please?
He was, the driver, he was convicted of...
No.
What was it? He wasn't convicted?
He was not convicted. What they did, when I say I found out so much corruption, I had to do my own investigation. One thing about a mother who loves their child and who's close to their child, they know what their child will do and will not do. And the prosecutor started fabricating to me, to my son, he was chased in the public transportation down. You know, mind you, I have a friend who's a judge.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, Naomi, you know, you do your own. He said, I need you to go to the people and talk to the people around the area because they're not really going to say much to the prosecutor or the police, but being that you're his mother, they'll tell you. Right. He said, I know it's hard for you, but I need you to do that for me and your son. So I did that. And sure enough, the owner of Exxon gas station, he said, no, your son was not chasing no public transportation. He said he was at the stop. He said, your son went to the 7-Eleven. He said, I see your son all the time. You know, my son had a car. His car, you know, had gave out, and one of the cars was in the shop, so he normally be driving.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, the prosecutor, once it's like a vehicular homicide, it turns over to the prosecutor. And the prosecutor supposed to contact me. The prosecutor never contacted me. I had to go there. Never. So they was covering up my son's demise. Yeah. And I just, as I still dig in more, it's more corruption unfold. So I had wrote to the DOT, Department of Transportation. I'm like, this driver is still driving, you know. And the driver fabricated like, he didn't see my child, but not knowing that I got a hold to the investigation tape the interview tape when it first happened. And the lawyer gave me the interview tape with the prosecutor, the driver, and transit lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Now the driver gets up and demonstrates how he saw my son. And the transit lawyer, Mike Tuza, told my son, remember, you didn't see anyone. And so the detective saying, what you had there was out of your control. Mind you, Exxon gas station gave me a videotape.
That showed it.
Right. Now, the videotape that I had, it was an old, and I couldn't get anybody to convert the videotape because it was on the old program, surveillance program.
Right.
And this happened in 2012, so I said, well, let me see YouTube. So someone just told me, try to see if YouTube will convert this video.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, this year, YouTube converted the video, the surveillance video. And you see the driver sped around the corner. You don't see my son running or anything. The witness, they're like, the driver was not speeding. But you can see on the video, I put it on YouTube. You see he was speeding around the corner, jumped the curb, and you see the vehicle go up twice.
Wow.
And he is not convicted. He has so much infraction. He was convicted in 1999 for speeding. Mind you, we convicted him for that, but he was speeding and killed my son and didn't convict him.
That's unbelievable.
Yes. And so I had information with the lawyer. He had a bus specialist, and the specialist said, regardless, that driver, according to the policy, the driver was supposed to stop regardless. And if my son was already at the stop sign. So it was all this, but the YouTube converted it, and videos don't lie.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Definitely don't lie. This is Paula, and again, I'm so sorry for your loss. Because losing a loved one is a very difficult thing. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, I lost my sister. Is there a difference between losing a child and losing another loved one?
Yes, this is much different. My brother, back in 1992, my brother and I was very close. And I thought I just wanted to die when my brother, had got shot. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to give up. But my grandma no, you got to live on for your son. So I said, okay. Now my grandmother, she helped raise me. Now she had transitioned. So I can compare the three. It's much, much different when you have a child, because you feel that child move in your body. You feel that you're growing with that child. My son was 22 years old, and my son and I was close. And you got to keep in mind, every mother is not close to their child, and every child is not close to their mother.
Right.
As a former teacher, I saw that firsthand. I see parents didn't care about their child, and I saw a child who didn't care about the parent. So I say it's really the closeness and attachment that you have. And my son and I was very close. I did everything for my son. I finished college because of my son. And
wow, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but, I definitely can see, because they always say losing a child is, burying your child is one of the hardest things that you could ever do. And when my sister passed away, that's one of the things that my mom to this day, always says, that she never thought that she would have to bury one of her children, or one of her children would die before her. And it is a terrible, terrible thing. But she said, you'll get through it, but it's just a loss that you will always, nobody could ever understand the pain of a mom losing their child and burying their child. She said that's something that people will never be able to comprehend.
No, you can't, because when it first happened, my son, where I used to live at, my son grew up with this young lady. We lived in the same place. She lived like across the hall from us. She was killed first by New Jersey Coaches A driver. He was speeding. He was on the phone because I was reading an article and one of the witness statement. The driver had hit her, and do you know they did not prosecute her driver either?
What?
Yes. He gets already free. And not knowing, when I saw the mother, I said, I cannot imagine. Not knowing 5 months and 27 days later, my son get killed the same way. I remember her. Yes, her name was Christy Noble, and he knocked on her door. He said, Mom, Christy Noble just got killed. I said, what do you mean? She was with her 3-year-old son. The 3-year-old son had survived. The way the Coach USA public transportation spokesperson come out and say, oh, she went out there with her child. No mother is not going to run out in the street with their 3-year-old child. Really? We are protectors. And so that was the headline, which is all online, had the lie that they had. And that's what they were trying to convict me. Oh, no, it was an accident. And I said, no, it was not an accident. You know, I felt that when a child is ill, it's like preparation. But when your child looks at you and say, I'll be back home, and he get killed,
right?
Where's the preparation? There's no preparation.
I noticed when I had introduced it, when I introduced, asked you to tell about the story, you choked up a little bit. So, what do you have triggers that, you know, in dealing with the whole thing? Do you have trigger words or things that bring back the pain all over again?
Yes, it's hard for me to really drive when I see a public transportation, because the lawyer that I had, when I say they mistreated me like I was the one who ended my son's life, the lawyer that I had, he like, okay, we're going to go to mediation, and I'm going to show you image. We're going to pull out image of your son remaining, leave out the conference room. And I said, well, okay. He did not do that. He just pulled it out. And I'm looking at showing me picture of my son remaining, his matters on the curb where he once stood. And so
this was your attorney, the one representing you?
Yes. Yes.
Unbelievable.
And then the retired judge, and that another mediation we go, the retired judge, he started fabricating to me, oh, it was one time. I said, autopsy showed was twice. Wasn't one time. My brother-in-law, he went there, identified my son. It was twice. The guy rendered my son's head and chest. And so the retired judge, he gets nasty with me, very sarcastic and upset, because he was trying to convince me that the driver ran over him once. I saw the evidence, and not only that, I did most of the investigation myself, and I gave it to the lawyer. And so why are you lying to me? I did most of the investigation. I gave it to them. I went to interview people. I did all the investigation, you know. And I said, so why are you lying to me? So he got upset. So he like, well, you didn't do this for me. And I said, yes, I did. Everything he asked me to do, I emailed it. He said, well, the lawyer didn't get it. I said, give me the computer. Every letter I pulled up on email showing that I had sent it to him. So they was trying to play the mind games on me. So the Judge Lawson, he got very upset. So he says to me, oh, well, the front wheel didn't kill me with the back wheel because all his brain matter was in there. So this haunts me all the time. But every time I look at the public transportation, I cry, I scream. I'm really mentally suffering. No mother wants to see the remains all over.
Exactly. Especially presented to you that way by your own lawyer without, preparing for that. That was a little cold and insensitive. Yeah. That was. Now, I have a question to ask you, but I want to ask you something before then. I'm sure in your research you found out, because you said there was another person, the lady who lived down the hall. Is this a common issue with the New Jersey Transit that, it's a lot of accidents that are going without being punished?
It is an epidemic in New Jersey. It happens every time you pick up a paper or email. Is like twice or three times out of the week. A life is taken and none of the drivers are held accountable. Now, I had wrote to the U.S. Senator Bob Menendez about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, I'm a senator. You got to go to your He's a U.S. senator, the federal senator, and I had to go to, my senator close to me. So I went to her. She never helped me. No, never. When I say it's corrupt and cover up from the prosecutor and all, cover up. It happens all the time. I have recently wrote an article about it, all the corruption. Mind you, I have all the evidence, and I have wrote an article about it, and I submitted to one of the online newspaper. Transit lawyer saw the article and told the guy from Community News to take the article down. This is what I'm saying. When they see somebody exposing it to it, and what I do, I attach the evidence to it. And they saw it, and they told him to take it down. Luckily, the guy said no. He said he refused. See, they have articles. When they see articles with people exposing them, they have them to take it down. So it shows that this not happen all the time. It happens all the time. And none of these drivers are being held accountable. They call it as an accident. Like I said, what happened to my son was not an accident. I came across, if you go on Reckless New Jersey Transit or Coach USA bus driver, you see people make so many complaints. It's a complaint site, and so many complaints are written up on them. Even with the driver had recently, what I have read, an anonymous person has said that he witnessed the driver had threatened my son.
Wow.
Yep.
Prior to the accident?
Yes. Because what happened, according to what the person had statement, he said my son was like minding his business, like getting off the public transportation. You know how when you look, make sure you have everything. You look, you check the seat, make sure you have everything. So according to the person on the public transportation, the driver told my son, "You better hurry up and get off." And my son said, "Hold up, I'm looking, make sure I have everything." And so, according to the person, he said, "Why are you rushing the young man? He's trying to make sure he has everything." The driver said, "Oh, you need to mind your business." And so my son said, "Why you disrespect this?" Again, this one, according to the witness who made that statement. He said, my son said, "Why are you talking nasty to me? I'm not. Why are you disrespecting me? I'm not disrespecting you." And this is online. This is not alleged. This is all online. And the driver like, "Oh, you don't know who you messed with." My son like, "Well, you don't know who you messed with. Why are you being nasty to me?" He like, "Oh, I can end your life and nothing happened to me, and I'm still have my job." I kid you not. This is online. And then after that, the deposition. The other attorney, I had a deposition. He did a deposition, and I came across a complaint about the same driver. He threatened somebody else. And the guy was getting off the public transportation. The driver pulled off, and the guy had fell. Now, mind you, I had saw it online. The lawyer that I had took a deposition, and that was in the deposition. The lawyer, I went through 4 lawyers. I fired 4 lawyers. So the 4th lawyer, he never told me about this incident where the driver had threatened another passenger. But I read it in the deposition, and in the deposition they said, "Well, why you never complain about the passenger that fell off the public transportation?" And I put that online. Everything I'm telling you, I put all the evidence right online. So I had just go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, and then after that, when I called the Department of Transportation. And they told me they gave me the state police number to call, and I called the state police, and he gave me the motor vehicle, and he like, "That driver should not be driving." If you Google the Justice for Deshon Johnson and go to Google Image, you'll see the driver, all his infractions. When I say he has infraction, he's still driving. So the lady from motor vehicle, she said, "Well, let me pull up your son's case." She said, oh, you know what they did? They blamed your son. She said, you never got a report? I said, no, they didn't give me any report. I said, when it went to the so-called grand jury, I never got a docket. They never gave me anything.
So your lawyer did everything without you knowing?
The prosecutors.
Right. But you had an attorney that was there, too, as well, right?
Yeah, each turn, I went through 4 attorneys, and they wound up, I don't know, probably buying them off. It's crazy. I had to go through 4 attorneys because they start lying to me. So every time they lie to me, I start doing my own investigation.
Right. And are you still fighting with the system? They didn't try to settle with you or anything like that?
I'm to the point I want to give up, but I'm still trying to fight. You know, it's not about the money because people realize the money is just like a lawsuit. When you get the money, they want you to sign a gag order.
Yep, exactly.
I declined the gag order because I'm like, I know my constitutional right. That's my First Amendment. I have a right to exercise my First Amendment. So I declined the gag order. So now the 4th lawyer I had, he wound up signing the gag order for me. I had called the FBI, you know, doing the intake, and the lady from the FBI intake, she said, well, why he signing a gag order? Lawyers don't sign a gag order. So when I say corrupt.
Exactly. And then you started the talk show, Noneillah Talk Show. Now, was this a show that you started, or what inspired you to start the show?
Well, my son was a well-known hip-hop artist, underground hip-hop artist in New Jersey. And when he rapped a song, he would say Noneillah. Noneillah was his tagline. Noneillah means no one is better than him. That's what Noneillah means.
Right.
And he was starting his T-shirt clothing line as well before what happened to him. So on the 19th, he was supposed to do a music video, but not knowing his life was going to be taken Wednesday, July the 18th, 2012. And so that's why I do Noneillah on his legacy. I also, design clothing because one criminal lawyer said, you need to get the people involved. I said, well, how can I get the people involved? So I was thinking where a lot of people go to. So I said, New York Fashion Week. So I start, because I have my own online store too. So I said, okay, well, let me do New York Fashion Week because there's a lot of media being there, a lot of press to get cover and, expose them and shine the light on them, on the corruption. So that's why I did that. Now with the talk show, I had an interview, and actually it was my son. They wanted to interview my son, so I had to let them know my son wasn't here. And so I went in the chair to the service. And so the host was interviewing me. She said, you know what, why don't you start your own talk show? So I said, well, how am I start my own talk show? Don't you need money? She said, no, what you could do, you go to your community TV. She said, it was in New York, in Brooklyn. She said, let's go talk to the producer here and see if you can start your own show. And I spoke to a Brooklyn producer, and he like, well, you have to live in Brooklyn to be able to do it. So he referred me to Manhattan, then the Manhattan person referred me to somebody in Montclair. The Montclair person referred me to Princeton, and that's how I was able to go to the talk show. I pitched my story that I wanted to do to get all the people whose lives was taken by New Jersey Transit as a platform to share their story.
Wow.
And
is this a show is it weekly?
Say that again, please.
Your talk show, is this a weekly talk show, or how often do you have your show so people can tune in?
Yeah, the talk show is weekly. Every week. Because I can't get there, the director, he would like me to do it like twice a week, but I cannot do that because, believe it or not, Wednesday on July the 18th, 2007, I became disabled with Bloomfield police officer was chasing a stolen car, and not knowing 5 years later on the same day, same town, my son's life get taken in the same town that I was disabled. So,
wow.
Yeah, so he was helping me out. So I do the talk show like twice a week because it's a little farther where I live at, you know, and I have people who see articles about what happened to my son and they contact me and want to share their story. You know, they find me on Facebook, they find me, and I have like a change.org raising awareness for people who like taken, and they find me through the change.org and share their story, and I'm trying to get them on TV, but they don't want to come to the TV, probably because they signed a back order, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I was on that site not too long ago and saw that.
Say that again.
I said I was on that change.org site, and I was looking through some of the stories and saw that.
Oh, yeah, you read some of the stories, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and it was sad, and the governor not doing anything. I met with the guy. The governor was doing a speech, Governor Murphy. I spoke with him. He just just blew me away. Oh, I don't have anything to do with transit. You know, somebody help her. She was very dismissive. But he gave New Jersey Transit $407.5 million. And all that money is only going to go to paying off lawsuits. That's all, because they're not doing anything about it. It's like, again, it's a Band-Aid. You need to correct the problem, pass a law, and hold these drivers accountable.
Exactly.
Wow. Exactly. Well, you're doing the right thing by continuing to tell the story, and it's definitely going to be on our page, so our listeners will hear about the story and what's going on up there in New Jersey. I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story. And
thank you.
I wish the best for you.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And again, my son's music is online, Sean Cos Mason. He's on different music platforms. And, of course, the Noneillah Talk Show. If anybody want to be a guest, I do Skype interview as well. And I also have a podcast, Noneillah Podcast.
How do they get in contact with you for your show?
They could contact me at NEILL@gmail.com or Noneillah Talk Show @gmail.com. On Instagram, Facebook, Google Noneillah. You'll find Noneillah because Noneillah is only, my son has Noneillah because it's trademarked. So, again, NONEILLAH. You can email me.
Awesome. Well, Naomi, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I hope you have a good holiday.
I try. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Care.
All right. I can't believe nobody is doing anything. If it's happening so much, it just seems like there's a bigger person who's making sure they're covered. Sometimes an inside job going on, like she was saying, like she pointed out from it.
Yeah.